The Robin split between being a Wayne and an Ghul. Who is Damian Wayne? We're about to find out in this video. To start off, Damian Wayne aka the 5th Robin is the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul. Damian's first appearance is a bit complex, as he was technically introduced in the story Batman, Son of the Demon, but Batman was working with Ra's al Ghul to stop a man named Cain, who also took the life of Talia's mother named Melisande al Ghul. Ra's even claimed Batman to be a second in command due to Batman and Talia being married in that story. The couple shared a night together, leading to Talia becoming pregnant. Batman was very happy about it when he got the news from her, but there was a sudden change in him that Talia didn't like, as he became protective over her, which wasn't a bad thing at all. I mean, what man wouldn't be protective over his pregnant wife and their unborn child? But this resulted in him becoming reckless and not putting too much focus into stopping Cain. Talia all of a sudden passed on from Ra's and Batman. She had a miscarriage and told Bruce that she lost a baby. This left him depressed and angry, and he let his frustration out in his efforts to defeat Cain. After Cain was defeated, Bruce came back to check on Talia, and they talked, resulting in Talia wanting Bruce to leave. At the end of the story, it's revealed Talia faked a miscarriage and gave up the baby for adoption. In the years following the conclusion of this story, it was considered non-canon to the timeline until Grant Morrison reintroduced a key idea from it, which is, of course, the child of Bruce and Talia. I personally thank him and Andy Kubert for creating my favorite Robin and bringing them into existence, starting with Batman 655. Before Damian met his father, there were a few changes on how he was conceived. Instead of Bruce and Talia sharing a romantic night together, Talia manipulated Bruce into sleeping with her, leading to her getting pregnant with Damian. Talia, being Talia, didn't want to go through the whole 9-month pregnancy process, and she put Damian in an artificial womb in order for him to be at peak condition and a perfect heir. In his early childhood, Damian received training in a variety of different skill sets from mentors Talia provided for him, but he didn't get any social skills out of all of that. Don't worry, we'll definitely go over that later. During all of this, Damian wondered who his father was, and in order to find out, he had to win a fight against Talia on his birthday every year up until he won when he was 10 years old, where Talia told Damian all he needs to know about Bruce Wayne and his life as the world's greatest detective. During one of Talia's schemes, she kidnapped Francine Langstrom, the wife of Kirk Langstrom aka Man-Bat, and she wanted Kirk to give her the Man-Bat serum in exchange for Francine so she can use it on her army, turning them into ninja Man-Bats. Kirk had no choice but to give the serum to Talia, and around this time, Bruce was at a fundraiser in London where he met a woman named Jezebel Jet. Talia and Damian were watching a fundraiser and told Damian to point out which one of the men on the cameras was his father, and he pointed at Bruce. A group of ninja Man-Bats crashed the fundraiser. Bruce suited up as Batman and stopped a good number of them until he was overwhelmed. Batman was captured and brought to Talia, where she told him that he has a son. Damian walked up to Batman and said the infamous quote, "Father, I imagine you taller." Talia left Damian in Batman's care as a way to distract him from his work, plus Damian was growing beyond Talia's control anyway. While trying to find a way to stop Talia, Batman took Damian to the Batcave where he met Tim Drake. Damian automatically saw Tim as a threat and didn't like him due to the fact Tim was adopted by Bruce. Damian didn't think Tim deserved any inheritance. Batman sent Damian up to the manor with Alfred to get him settled in, but he was being a spoiled and entitled little brat, insulting Alfred, screaming why he can't get a laptop, and throwing food Alfred cooked for him at the wall. Batman had enough of it, checked Damian on it, and locked him in his temporary bedroom until he got back. Damian somehow left and trapped Alfred in the bedroom. He cut the head off of a forgettable villain named the Spook and went back to the Batcave with it. Tim came back to the Batcave expecting Alfred to be there, but it was Damian there training on his own. Damian showed Tim the Spook's head with a grenade in it, leading to a fight between the two boys. Damian ended up hanging off the iconic T-Rex. Tim saved him, and he sucker punched Tim, letting him fall onto a display case. Out in Gotham, Damian appeared in front of Batman wearing parts of Jason Todd's old Robin suit with a gray hood, leaving Batman pissed off and wondering what Damian did to Tim and Alfred. Back in the Batcave, Batman found Tim in need of medical attention, and he freed Alfred. Alfred quickly gave Tim surgery. Batman was about to leave Damian behind in the Batcave until he pleaded to go with him. Batman refused, especially after everything Damian has done. Hell, who could blame him? Damian wanted to help his father and gave him Talia's location, leading them to go there. Damian helped his father defeat the ninja Man-Bats and save the Prime Minister's wife, Talia, held hostage. Talia didn't care though, as she planned this and wanted to offer Batman to join her and Damian in order to rule the world as a family, but Batman declined. Damian left with Talia, but the ship they were on blew up as the soldiers that escorted the Prime Minister's wife out of harm's way ordered for torpedoes to be sent Talia and Damian's way. They both survived, but Damian needed surgery and some organ transplants to help him recover. Talia also kept tabs on Bruce and his relationship relationship with Jezebel, you guys and girls don't even have to guess the tension and jealousy Talia has through the page. You can see it in her eyes, and she wants no other woman touching her baby daddy. Damian wouldn't be seen until Talia takes him to the Australian outback so he could learn about Ra's al Ghul and his history, even though Damian thought it was boring. A loyal follower of Ra's named White Ghost wanted to sacrifice Damian as he planned to resurrect Ra's and store his soul inside Damian's body. Ra's was soon resurrected anyway in a rotting corpse that was rejecting him to the point he literally couldn't feel anything. Ra's met Damian and brought up that he needed his body. Damian rejected Ra's, which pissed him off, leading to Ra's ordering his assassins to capture him. Talia told Damian to escape to avoid capture, and he headed to Wayne Manor to get Batman's help. Damian went into the Batcave and he was confronted by Tim Drake. Damian was trying to tell Tim about Ra's returning from the dead and he needed Batman's help, but Tim thought he was lying, leading to a quick fight that ended in Damian knocking him out and heading upstairs into Wayne Manor where he found Alfred. Damian was scared and desperate. Alfred noticed and tried to calm him down. Tim woke up and headed up to the manor. He saw Damian with Alfred and thought Alfred was in danger, but in reality, Damian was helping Alfred, preventing him from falling after he slipped on the carpet. Tim attacked Damian, leading Alfred to stop him, but Damian was going to let that slide and they fought again for round 2. While this is going on, an army of Ra's assassins are outside Wayne Manor. Tim, Damian, and Alfred held the mall bills too much, leading to Alfred getting thrown out the window fighting an assassin. Nightwing got there just in time to catch him and head to the Batcave where Tim and Damian were surrounded by assassins. Damian and Tim's fighting styles are vastly different due to Damian fighting offensive while Tim fights defensive. Nightwing tells Damian to fight defensive as well. The boys held their own up to the point Damian and Tim were captured and taken to Ra's al Ghul's base. Batman and Talia arrived to meet Ra's where he held Damian and Tim hostage. Ra's wanted Batman to decide which of the boys to spare. Batman offered up his own body for Ra's to take, but he declined and wanted a younger body. Batman came up with another way to save the boys by mentioning Nana Parbat to Ra's. He offered to take him there since the Fountain of Youth is located there. Damian, Tim, and Talia was left to fight their way out. Damian went on ahead and left them to help Batman. Oh, and Damian's a savage for this. As Talia was wondering why he would rather be with Batman so bad, Damian responded that he thought his father was way cooler than her. I don't know about you guys and girls, but I respect Damian's bluntness. I'm like that too in person, and yo, this brings me back to years ago when a girl I used to know said I was an a-hole, but the right kind of a-hole. I automatically got what she meant by that, as she could tell I was honest and I didn't care about someone else's feelings at all afterwards. The way I see it, if you ask for my honesty, it's up to you to process that info in a positive or negative way. You can't be mad at me if you asked in the first place. It is what it is. She was spot on with that one, I'll give her that. Damian being overconfident got himself captured by Ra's. Batman saved him and straight up told Damian in these exact words, grab a weapon, hit someone. It was simple and blunt, but Batman was talking facts as they're fighting for their lives and it's gonna get ugly and brutal no matter what. Man, I forget how many little moments like these I love from this story. If you're wondering what's the name of the story, it's called Batman: The Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. Trust me, you're not gonna regret reading this. And if you're a Batman fan and you haven't read the story yet, what the hell are you doing with your life? Nightwing, Robin, Alfred, and Talia soon called up to help Batman and Damian. Talia knocked Damian out and left with him right before Ra's fought Batman in order to keep him safe. Moving into Batman R.I.P. Talia and Damian was informed about Bruce and Jezebel getting kidnapped. Both of them went to Gotham and arrived at Wayne Manor where Damian saved Commissioner Gordon from a trap. Talia mentioned to Gordon how Batman spoke highly of him and invited him to investigate where Batman could be with them. Later in the story, Damian saved Alfred and took one of the Batmobiles. On his way, Joker was in an ambulance hitting police cars, but he wasn't ready for the Batmobile. Damian hit Joker so hard the ambulance he was in fell off the bridge. Man, imagine if some innocent people were in that ambulance instead of the Joker. Damian didn't care at all. All he cared about was if Batman could let him keep the Batmobile he was driving in. Final crisis happened. Batman sacrificed himself and actually quote-unquote died from Darkseid's Omega Beams. The villains of Gotham soon found out about Batman's death. Arkham Asylum was blown up. Most of Batman's rogues gallery escaped, and Gotham City quickly went to hell. Damn near every Bat family member such as Nightwing, Robin, Catwoman, Oracle, and Batgirl had to help keep the city from tearing itself apart. The chaos got so bad, even out of Bat family members that some of you might not know was in the Bat family came in, such as Huntress, Black Canary, Wildcat, Black Lightning, Katana, Metamorpho, and the Creeper came in. There were probably a few more members that I didn't mention, but I think you get the point with that long ass list of names. Nightwing was hesitating and doubting himself on whether he should take up the mantle of Batman. Tim came in and told him that one of them has to be Batman to get things under control and that someone else beat them to it. That person was wearing a custom Batman suit, taking the lives of criminals and dishonoring Bruce's legacy. Tim took matters into his own hands and put on one of Bruce's old bat suits to stop the mysterious person posing as Batman alongside Catwoman. While all this was going down, Damian was having a joyride in one of the Batmobiles with a random girl, and Oracle called in. Oracle ejected the girl out of the Batmobile and told Damian that if he watches the Batmobile and stay out of Nightwing's way, he could possibly forget Damian's joyride. Killer Croc all of a sudden together and hit the Batmobile with brute force into a nearby swamp. Damian was in danger as he was confronted by Poison Ivy and Killer Croc. Thankfully, Nightwing came in to save him, but they couldn't get comfortable yet as they were shot down and crashed into a building. Criminals held Nightwing at gunpoint until the mysterious Batman came in guns blazing. Nightwing put the pieces together and quickly figured out the mysterious new Batman was actually Jason Todd. In order to get away, Jason shot Damian in the chest, leaving Nightwing to get him back to the Batcave so Alfred could help. Damian soon woke up and was sent out along with Squire to rescue Tim, who recently had and lost the fight with Jason. At the same time, Nightwing fought and defeated Jason, resulting in him finally becoming Batman. After Grayson became Batman, Damian became his Robin due to the fact he needed a lot of guidance since Bruce was out of the picture during that time, while Tim left to become Red Robin as Grayson saw Tim as an equal. Plus, Tim went on his own quest to prove Bruce Wayne was still alive. Dick, Damian, and Alfred moved out some equipment from the Batcave and they set up a Batcave in a bunker underneath Wayne Tower. Damian worked on and finished the flying Batmobile Bruce never finished and impressed Alfred due to the fact Damian figured out how to fix the problem that frustrated and prevented Bruce from finishing it. The new dynamic duo patrolled the streets of Gotham, but they had a rocky start as Grayson was trying to mimic Bruce as Batman. Damian didn't respect him, thinking he didn't deserve to be Batman. It showed when they encountered their first villain together named Professor Pig. This guy's a nightmare and crazy as hell as he would, in his words, perfect the flaws in people and turn them into his own Dollatrons. Damian disobeyed Dick's orders and went to stop Professor Pig on his own, leading him to getting captured as part of his plan. Damian freed himself and fought his way out, but was knocked down by Professor Pig. Grayson got there just in time to rescue Damian, stopping their first villain together as Batman and Robin. The Blackest Night event soon took place. Batman and Robin went to the cemetery where the graves of Thomas, Martha, and Bruce Wayne has been desecrated. Batman wanted Robin to help him bring the bodies back to the bunker under Wayne Tower. Deadman soon came in to warn him about the Black Lanterns going after the dead. Dick contacted Tim and let him know that the graves of his parents and Tim's parents were empty, resulting in Tim on his way back to Gotham. In order to combat the dead, Batman and Robin went to a nearby Army Reserve National Guard armory. Damian was cheery as hell and said Merry Christmas when he saw all the weapons in the armory. Dick only wanted to take the flamethrowers from there and told Damian no guns, still honoring Bruce's moral code and his memory. Many of the dead, including some of Batman's rogues gallery, came back and endangered people at the GCPD, including Oracle and Commissioner Gordon. Batman told Deadman to worry about saving lives while him and Damian worried about distracting the dead. Red Robin came in and helped them get out of there but was ambushed when Dick and Tim's parents appeared as zombies. Damian was told to get Oracle and Commissioner Gordon to safety while Batman and Red Robin deal with their zombified parents. Over time, Damian grew more respect for Grayson as he grew to be his own version of Batman, while Damian grows more into the role as his Robin. Jason Todd would soon come back into the picture as Red Hood again with his own sidekick named Scarlet, who was actually one of the victims of Professor Pig. The dynamic duo had to stop Red Hood and Scarlet from taking the lives of criminals and attracting more dangerous threats to Gotham. But it'll be less time than expected as a twisted villain named Flamingo ambushed Jason and Scarlet. Batman and Robin came in to help, but during the fight, Flamingo shot Damian in the spine, paralyzing him. Damian was sent to Talia to get surgery and a new spine with some kinks to it that I'll go over in a bit. In the meantime, while Damian is recovering, Dick attended to bring Bruce's body to a Lazarus pit as he feels guilt over his death. Bruce came out rejuvenated, but as an unhinged Batman that escaped and went to Wayne Tower right after Damian was dropped off and getting used to his new spine. Alfred and Damian were on their own fighting the unhinged Batman. Damian could tell this wasn't his father, but it was a clone of him, especially after he straight up said he knocked out Alfred. Yep, definitely not Bruce. The clone threw Damian off of Wayne Tower. Grayson came in just in time and saved Damian from falling. They defeated the crazy Batman clone, and Dick Grayson realized that Bruce Wayne is still alive somewhere and they have to find him. Batman, Robin, and Alfred were searching for any clues that could lead to Bruce, but there was something wrong with Damian as he picked up a sword looking to cut Grayson's head off. Come to find out, Talia placed a device within Damian's spine to control his body, and she had Deathstroke control Damian to attack Batman. Dick found a way to disrupt the signal and deactivate the device within Damian's spine, and they traveled to Talia's base to confront her. Talia wanted to have a conversation alone with Damian, and she disapproved of Damian wearing a Robin suit around her. Damian questioned his mother on why she placed a device in his spine. From Talia's point of view, she was trying to save Damian from the path he chose as Robin. Damian responded and said that being Robin and fighting crime with Dick Grayson as Batman was the best thing that ever happened to him, which shows how much of a brotherly bond and how much respect Damian has towards Grayson during the time as Batman and Robin. Talia showed Damian a clone of him that was growing in an artificial womb. She was disappointed that Damian chose the Wayne side of the family instead of the Al Ghul side. She ended the conversation by telling Damian that he was no longer welcomed and considered an enemy of the House of Al Ghul. Joker reappeared. Grayson and Commissioner Gordon left them in an interrogation room while Damian and some cops kept watch of him. I freaking love this next interaction between Damian and the Joker as he used the crowbar to beat the hell out of Joker. Of course, Joker escaped by coating his fingernails with chemicals that make up laughing gas, and he cut Damian with them. Oh well, it was fun while it lasted, even if it was for a page or two. What makes his little story arc interesting was that Joker wasn't the main antagonist, but it was Dr. Hurt who was the big threat. Damian tried to rescue Grayson from Dr. Hurt, but he was captured as well. When they reunited, the dynamic duo escaped and punched Dr. Hurt. Bruce came out of the shadows showing that he's back as Batman, mentioned that he was proud of Damian for being Robin, and defeated Dr. Hurt and the Joker. Afterwards, Bruce established Batman Incorporated and let Dick and Damian operate as Batman and Robin a little longer. Since Grayson was still Batman, he thought it would be a good idea to let Damian interact with the Teen Titans. Knowing how Damian was at the time, of course it didn't last. It seems like it didn't benefit him, but he did create a little friendship with Rose Wilson, aka Ravager, since they both have certain things in common, like how they were brought up, let's say, in a unique way by their parents. Part of me do wish this little friendship was expanded upon due to Ravager being older and a bit more chilled out than Damian. Besides Dick Grayson, I think she could have helped guide Damian too if given the time, as she used to be a bit more extreme during her early days as Ravager. Hell, maybe Damian could have been a better teammate within the Titans if that happened, but it is what it is. Red Robin soon collaborated with the Titans, and after they solved the threat together, Damian wanted to go back to Gotham as it was obvious to him the Titans preferred Tim Drake as their Robin. Back in Gotham, Tim tried to talk to Damian and mentioned that he didn't have to leave the Titans because of him, but Damian prefers to be with Grayson because in his mind, Grayson is the only friend he needs. When fighting a couple thugs, Dick did notice Damian has gotten a bit better as he's more patient and he's not using one of his blades, which counts as another benefit for spending a bit of time with the Titans. Moving on to New 52, Damian was still Robin, but he was working with Bruce as Batman. Dick was back as Nightwing, and the father-son dynamic duo had a bit of a rough start since they haven't spent much time together if you really think about it after everything that's happened. Bruce was trying to figure out how he could be a good father to Damian, while Damian has been building up a lot of anger due to the fact Bruce doesn't completely trust him yet. Damian did show a bit of restraint in one of their nights out. Bruce adopted one of the two infamous dogs in the Bat family named Titus as a reward for Damian. The father-son relationship would be tested in a major way when Morgan Ducard, the son of one of Bruce's old mentors named Henry Ducard, visited Gotham going by the codename Nobody. Bruce kept Damian at the manor until Damian disobeyed Bruce's orders, making himself a target for Nobody. Damian argued with his father for not telling him about Nobody. Nobody soon found Damian outside and offered to teach him everything he knows, leading to Damian going out on patrol with him against Bruce's wishes. Nobody wanted to manipulate Robin and make him realize that Batman's way of fighting crime doesn't work. However, Damian wouldn't go off the rails and plan this in advance as he let himself be tracked by Batman, but nobody noticed it. He was angry and brutally tortured Robin while Batman overheard it. Batman was getting more and more pissed off as he drove the Batmobile at max speed in order to save Robin's life. Batman finally crashed into Nobody's hideout with the Batmobile and they fought, resulting in Bruce winning the fight. Nobody woke up and told Damian that he would come back to end their lives. This triggered Damian to end Nobody's life in front of Bruce. Damian apologized and said that he let his father down. Bruce didn't care about that at the moment and only cared about getting his son back to the Batcave for some medical attention. Back at the Batcave, Bruce yells out to Alfred to prep up the table and to fix their boy. Alfred was concerned about Bruce's injuries too, but Bruce didn't care and only worried about the well-being of Damian. Bruce eventually passed out from all his injuries upstairs in Wayne Manor after he wished he would rather have Nobody's blood on his hands instead of Damian's. While recovering, Damian had a talk with Bruce, resulting in Damian telling his father not to give up on him. Bruce responded that he doesn't intend to, showing growth and progress in their relationship. Throughout the rest of the New 52 Batman and Robin run, Bruce and Damian's relationship grew little by little. They even shared a moment where Damian found one of Martha Wayne's pearls after all these years, gave it to his father, and Bruce gave Damian a huge hug. Tragedy would eventually show itself during the Batman Incorporated run as Talia put a bounty on Damian's head. Batman forced Damian to stay in the Batcave, but when Gotham was in danger and everyone else was overwhelmed, Damian took it upon himself to write a letter for Bruce to see just in case anything happens to him and go out anyways to do what he can to save Gotham. Damian crashed into Wayne Tower as Talia took it over, hoping he can get through to his mother. Nightwing came and held Damian out, and they had a brief talk involving Damian mentioning that Dick Grayson was the best partner he had before they got back into the fight. An adult and monstrous clone of Damian named Leviathan came out to fight the duo. He knocked out Nightwing with ease, leaving Damian to fight him alone. The fight was brutal as Damian tried his best to defeat Leviathan, but he lost and Leviathan ended Damian's life by stabbing him through the stomach. Batman came in all distraught as he held Damian's lifeless body in his arms. Even when he's dead, Damian wouldn't get a break as Ra's al Ghul took his body for one of his schemes, then forces from Apocalypse eventually came in to grab Damian's body as a piece of the Chaos Shard was hidden inside Damian's sarcophagus. The fight forced Batman and Ra's to form a temporary alliance until they lost and Damian's body was taken to Apocalypse. Batman was determined to get Damian back by breaking into the justly watched watchtower and retrieving one of the most badass bat suits to this day called the Hellbat suit. Mind if we just take a moment and appreciate the fact that this suit was forged by members of the Justice League such as Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Green Lantern, and Aquaman, and is about to be used in the most badass way. Batman soon arrives on Apokolips, wreaking hell on a planet that symbolizes hell. Members of the Bat family and Cyborg came in to help Batman get Damian's body, but it wouldn't be that easy as Darkseid appears, and Batman, not giving a damn, responded about time he showed up. Batman vs. Darkseid is a sight I was blown away with, especially with the art. You guys and girls don't know how ecstatic I was when I first read this. I bought the physical copy of this, and I'm low-key mad I forgot where I put it. But let's move on. As a personal problem of mine, this ended with Batman whooping Darkseid's ass and everyone getting back to the Batcave. The Hellbat suit nearly ended Bruce, but he kept going a little longer and just enough to use the Chaos Shard to resurrect Damian, and it worked as he came back to life and hugged Bruce. Calibat came to the Boom 2 portal, but Damian quickly whooped his ass as he got superpowers from the Chaos Shard, and Batman flew the Batwing right into Calibat, sending him back to Apokolips. Batman and Robin were reunited once again. As far as Damian's superpowers, it was temporary and Damian went back to his normal self. Back to life and breathing, Damian set out on a journey to make amends as he went to return certain things he stole in the Year of Blood, which was the year he tried to prove himself to Ra's al Ghul. During his journey, Damian had a big and soft-hearted creature named Goliath, and he befriended Nobody's daughter named Maya Ducard. At the end of his journey, Talia al Ghul came back to stop Damian from what he was doing, but it was too late as an ancient threat of the Al Ghul family called Dendarga appeared. In order to stop Dendarga, Damian along with Batman, Talia, Maya, and Goliath had to stop Dendarga's son named Surin Darga. Then, when Surin joined Damian, Maya, and Goliath, they worked together to fully stop Dendarga. Moving on to DC's Rebirth, Damian is now officially a teenager and he's been pretty busy as he formed a new team of the Teen Titans including Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and Kid Flash. He led the team in order to stop his cousins from the Al Ghul side of the family, named Mara Al Ghul and the Demon's Fist, from hunting them down. Plus, they went up against Ra's al Ghul. Soon after, Damian met his soon-to-be best friend Jon Kent, aka Superboy. The way they met was very much what Damian would do, as he had Jon spied on, leading him to bring Jon to a hideout to run tests on him. Damian thought Jon was a danger to the public since he couldn't fully control his powers. Batman came in and told Damian to release Jon before Superman noticed, but it was too late as Superman busted in all pissed off. A fight almost started between Batman and Superman until Jon prevented it by accidentally using his freeze breath, making a giant ice structure between them. Later on, while Batman and Superman tried to find out the potential of Jon's powers, Alfred had Damian show Jon his animals until another fight broke out, forcing the world's finest to set up some challenges for their boys so they could learn how to work together. To sum it up, the boys failed every challenge until a giant monster had Batman, Superman, and Alfred trapped back in the Batcave. Damian and Jon put aside their differences to beat the monster, and it turned out to be another challenge set up for them. Alfred was proud of the boys and officially called the duo the Super Sons. Damian and Jon did have a few adventures together, such as going up against Kid Amazo and defeating him with the help of Lex Luthor, who at the time claimed to be Superman. That's a story in itself you'll need to go over in this video. I like how almost each member of the Bat family either works or hangs out with a certain member of the Super family. Like, we all know Batman as Superman, Jason Todd as Bizarro, Tim Drake as Connor, and now Damian as Jonathan. Everything was well and good, but as the Batman comics grew even darker than usual, a story arc called The City of Bane soon happened, where Bane and Flashpoint Batman took over Gotham. No member of the Bat family could enter Gotham, or else Bane would take Alfred's life. Now, Damian has some major character growth from this upcoming moment, as he went to Gotham anyway, got captured by Flashpoint Batman, and witnessed Bane snapping Alfred's neck right in front of him. This moment was a lesson that further reinforced in Damian's head that his actions have consequences, as he was traumatized. Around this time, Damian had a different Teen Titans team, but to be honest, it's not really important as the run was pretty trash in my opinion. The only things to get out of the run was that Damian was taking a more extreme approach and dealing with villains, as he would imprison them and mind wipe them against their wills. Batman took notice and confronted Damian about it after he ended Brother Blood's life, and was about to do the same thing to KG Beast too. Speaking of KG Beast, Damian was ready to crash out and slaughter this guy after what he did to Nightwing. If you guys and girls didn't know, KG Beast was the one that shot Nightwing in the head, causing Grayson to lose his memory and become Rick Grayson. Terrible storyline, by the way. Damian has so much internal anger building up, it wasn't even funny as he took it out on Batman. Damian questioned why Batman wasn't fighting back. Batman responded he didn't want to fight Damian because he loves him, and he knows he failed Damian by not paying attention to what Damian was going through. Damian quit being Batman's partner and Robin for a short time. Going into DC Infinite Frontier, Damian came back with a totally different Robin suit and went to Lazarus Island as he entered the Lazarus Tournament. He wanted to get some sort of redemption and revive Alfred, since he was the first person to show Damian kindness after he was introduced into the Bat family. He still felt the guilt of Alfred's death to the point he would talk to a ghost of him. Mother Soul, who was actually Damian's great-grandmother and Ra's al Ghul's mother named Rua al Ghul, was the host of the tournament. She was trying to explain the rules of the tournament, but Damian, being an arrogant arrogant ass went straight in, announced himself, and lost the flatline due to her literally stealing his heart. This was the first time she stole his heart. We'll go over the second time she did a bit later. If you guys and girls read this comic run, you know what I mean. After Damian came back to life, Ravager explained to him the rules of the tournament, including everyone getting 3 lives, and if someone dies the vote 3 times, well, there's no coming back, just to say that bluntly. Damian went ham with that info as he went full savage mode on other fighters. A bit later, Ravager wants to teach Damian a lesson Batman can teach him, which is having fun, and to chill with the rest of the fighters on the island. To be honest, every time I read it back and do research for certain origin videos like this one involving Ravager, I like her more and more. She's another underrated character. I like how she's just chill and laid back, especially as Damian's friend. I gotta see how her character was when she was first introduced and what made her into what she is now. Screw it, I might do an origin video on her, and if I did by the time you're watching this, here's a link to it on the top right hand corner of the screen to watch it. Enough about her though. Damian soon met up with Connor Hawke, who's Green Arrow's son. They were finding things in common due to them being the sons of superheroes that are also very wealthy, and laughing afterwards. The boys were interrupted by members of the League of Shadows who demanded Connor to prove his loyalty to them by beating Damian. They both fought, but Connor ended up being the winner and threw Damian off of Lazarus Island until he was saved by Goliath. Damian recovered with Goliath by his side and Ra's al Ghul tending to his wounds. Ra's offered to help him win the Lazarus Tournament by training Damian, not physically, but mentally, as he needed to learn how to relax, be patient, and to strike at the right opportunities, not every opportunity. After Damian finished his training with Ra's, all the previous Robins eventually found him due to Ravager being concerned on what happened to Damian, leading her to contact Red Hood about it. Jason told the rest of the Robins and they wanted to bring Damian home, but he ran from them until Nightwing caught up to him and said happy birthday to Damian. At this point, I think Damian is 14 years old. Damian opens up and tells Grayson that he saw Alfred die and admits that it affected him. Damian has seen a lot of death in his life, but what makes Alfred's death different is that Damian actually cared for him. He didn't get it until he heard the snap. Nightwing responds saying that he's sorry and that he wishes he was there for Damian then. Before any of you ask why wasn't Nightwing there for Damian then, it's because Grayson was still going through memory loss and he was still Rick Grayson. I can't tell you how much that story was so bad to me. I'm glad that's over. Nightwing had a talk with him and mentioned that while the other Robins were Bruce's Robin in a different point in time, Damian was Grayson's Robin, and that's a fact. Damn, I love and you gotta appreciate these wholesome moments between Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. Nightwing gets what journey Damian is going through and understands he's trying to find his way, resulting in him letting Damian go. In the final round of the tournament, Damian participated in it where he was one of the last fighters left going against Connor Hawke. Damian lost and died the second time, but it was part of his plan as he was fully healed and ready to fight the monster that appeared as part of Mother Soul's plan. Damian couldn't defeat it and learned a very important lesson from, let's call him Ghost Alfred, that the first step Bruce took right before he became Batman was asking for help. Damian rose up and asked the rest of the fighters to fight with him. In the end, they won, all threats were defeated, and they partied. Damian made a move on Flatline and kissed her. Just like I said in the Flatline origin video, I love this moment as Ra's said that Damian takes after his father. Talia left because she knew exactly what Ra's was talking about from first-hand experience. Damn, I freaking love this run. Part of me wish they didn't cancel it. I like the Batman and Robin run now, but it would be cool if Damian's solo comic was still going at the same time as the Batman Robin run. Damian still had Alfred on his mind and went back to Gotham, but he didn't want to go through with bringing him back to life because he didn't want to risk Alfred coming back different in the process. Bruce and Damian's father-son relationship would soon start to rekindle and heal when they worked together in an event called Shadow War. Then after a DC event called Lazarus Planet, Bruce was being possessed by a demon named Nezha. After Nezha was defeated, Bruce was dead. Damian found a way to resurrect his father by convincing the people of Gotham to give away a piece of their souls to resurrect Batman, and it worked. Bruce was resurrected and the dynamic duo was back. Damian would move in with Bruce and Bruce would put more effort into being a father for Damian. Damian would get enrolled into high school as a way for him to interact with more kids his age, even though he was reluctant on going to high school due to all the kids and teachers not knowing as much as he does. Bruce would find out what Damian was interested in, such as drawing and writing his own stories since he's a big fan of manga. The villains were not too important in this run, to be honest, but if you want a Batman and Robin story where Bruce and Damian have a lot of father-son moments, this run I definitely recommend. One of the best moments from this run was when they went camping. In reality, it was an investigation as people were being hunted in the camping grounds for fun before Bruce and Damian came to check it out. But Bruce and Damian didn't entirely treat it as an investigation since they were both chilling and enjoying the time they spent together while hunters were being caught in their traps. Flatline also makes an appearance too if you're wondering what happened to her after Damian's solo Robin run. Bane would eventually be found by Maya Ducard. Batman and Robin went to Bane's location, and Damian didn't hesitate to fight Bane so he could avenge Alfred. After he defeated Bane, Bane wanted Robin to finish him off, but he refused since it's not what Alfred would approve of. This shows how much Damian has grown over the years, how he went from being a spoiled and arrogant little brat to a humble and compassionate person that's worthy of the Robin mantle and has his own place within the Bat family. Now let's move on to his skills and abilities, and he got a lot of them. And we're going to start off with him being a master martial artist in various forms such as karate, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing, Kung Fu, capoeira, Aikido, etc. as Damian knows damn near if not as many martial arts as Batman. He's a stealth master, he got detective skills, he's skilled in acrobatics, voice mimicry, peak hearing, driving and piloting skills. He has some knowledge in magic, he has genius level intellect, he also knows escapology, business management, economics, computer science, forensics, criminology, artistry, chemistry. He's skilled in multiple languages such as English, Spanish, Japanese, Egyptian, Portuguese, Mandarin, Russian, etc. He's also versatile in various forms of weaponry such as firearms, swordsmanship, and archery. Moving on to his weaknesses, he was too full of himself when he was first introduced and it held him back from making friends. He actually made more enemies due to his attitude when he was younger, but over the years he calmed that down thanks to being around Bruce, Dick, Alfred, John, and I gotta say Flatline too in the recent years since she first appeared on the scene. Moving on to nerd facts, Talia named Damian after the Greek word Damianos, which means to tame. Damian once disguised himself as a bus driver and taught geology in Jon Kent's middle school class. During his early days as Robin, Damian visited Hush to play chess with him, due to the fact he changed his face to look like Bruce Wayne. Hush thinks Damian visited him as a way to grieve Bruce's death. Moving on to my personal thoughts, Damian is by far my favorite Robin. I'm straight up gonna say it. The majority say it's either Dick Grayson or Tim Drake. I can understand why people say their favorite is Tim Drake as he's the perfect partner for Batman, especially with his detective skills and he got a good personality. As far as people saying Dick Grayson, I can see it, but he's better as Nightwing than Robin from my point of view. And I'm not looking from the lens of just because he was the first Robin, he was the best. Nah, I think his character was fully embraced when he became his own man with a new persona that showed his positive personality traits. I do understand why a lot of people hated Damian, especially when he was first introduced, but I saw Damian as being a really flawed character with tons of room for growth, even with his various skills. I love that as the possibilities was endless for the son of Batman. He was missing a very important skill, which was his social skills, and I love that Dick Grayson was the perfect character to teach Damian the vibes of that. You have to think how Damian was brought up too. He didn't really have anyone but Talia, who wasn't the best person to raise a child, let's be honest. As Damian grew older, he also gained plenty of lessons, most notably the value of life, especially after Alfred's death. This may be controversial, but I think Alfred's death was a necessary turning point for Damian to truly learn and not be so careless. Otherwise, I don't think what he learned during the solo run up until now wouldn't have been that effective for him. Damian was the Robin I grew up with, and seeing him grow from a spoiled and arrogant little brat to a selfless and compassionate person was truly a journey I'm glad I read and saw. I also do have some things I can relate to Damian on, such as enjoying manga, having a soft spot for animals, and writing my own stories. That's another reason he's my favorite Robin. I can't wait to see what's next for Damian, and I think he has a bright future ahead of him as he gains more popularity through his character evolution, appearances, and as far as I remember, I think he's going to be the main Robin of James Gunn's DCU. Besides all that, if you like what I had to say, you thought it was entertaining and educational, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, especially if you're a new viewer. If you want to support the channel even more, my links will be down in the description box below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.